I was prepared to turn into my mom. I was promised that I was going to turn into my mom. Not happening. It was a pretty good package. My mom, good singer, great cook. Not so good with the technology. Every time my cell phone rings, she runs around like the little machine. It's making the singing and the shaking. She doesn't understand ringtones and vibrate. Anyway, but no, I'm turning into my dad. He is not a good cook. Shit at it. His idea of cooking us a good home cooked meal is a fried ground beef. No salt, no pepper, just fried ground beef in a bowl. We would cry whenever my mom would leave, not because we were sad that she was leaving, whatever. No, it was more about the fact that we knew we were about to starve. And you couldn't yell at him about it. He always had this great biblical comeback he would come out with, every time, Dad, this doesn't taste good. Mark 7:15. Which for those of you heathens out there who aren't familiar with the Bible, stands for, Mark 7:15 goes into nothing that enters a man can condemn a man. That was my dad's whole thing for his terrible culinary exploits. Stale bread microwaved with butter? Mark 7:15. Shake and bake fish grilled in a plastic bag? Mark 7:15. And you couldn't respond to him. You'd try and throw some Bible back at him. You'd say something like, oh, but Dad, Mark goes on to say that, anything that exits a man will condemn him, and this moldy chili's really gonna come out the wrong way. Caroline! No leftovers. He had a lot of sayings. That was one of his big ones. He had a lot of those. So, no leftovers. That was a big one. Another one was trash is a hands-on activity. Which might sound weird, but it's drilled into me at this point. It's really drilled into me. So the whole idea is, you don't just lay trash on top of the trash can. You gotta push it down. So now, whenever I see people just lightly laying trash on top of a trash can, I go into a full-blown freak out and start going, you gotta get in there, you gotta shove it down, elbows. And it's not appropriate in the workplace. Really doesn't go over well with HR. Another one of my dad's sayings is, paint is a cleaning instrument. Which, again, sounds really weird, but when you think about it, it makes sense. If you have a dirty wall and you paint over it, it's clean. You have a dirty floor, all you gotta do is paint over it, and it's clean. All right, makes sense. You have dirty nails, all you have to do is paint over them, and they're clean. It applies everywhere. Pine Sol is his paint. Paint is his Pine Sol. It really just all equals out. But I do have to give my dad some credit. He did me a real solid before I was born. Not the whole conception piece. I'm not worried about that. No, my mom was really into this tradition of using maiden names as middle names. And so when it came time to pick out my middle name, she wanted to honor her German ancestors by giving me the lovely middle name of Schätzel. Schätzel. Can you imagine being on a date with a girl, you go, oh yeah, my middle name's James, it's after my grandfather, and then she goes back, oh, yeah, my middle name's Schätzel after a bunch of alcoholic dead people. Yeah, not cute. And it didn't help because I have gone through a really hard, awkward phase from the age of 6 until current. The area of awkwardness has changed over time. I've learned to control some of it, but it's still there. I used to be kind of like, I was fat. I was fat as a kid. I was a Michelin man. I don't know what happened, but I do know that my firstborn is promised to Hades. Sucks to be them. But yeah, this happened at some point, but that wasn't before I had to get bifocals at the age of 10. Just try being a 10-year-old with bifocals. Only librarians and old people have bifocals, all right? 10-year-olds aren't supposed to be cursed with bifocals, but I was. And, this situation up here, yeah, there are people who do this. all right? I didn't have those people as a kid. I would wake up every day and I looked like I would shoved a fork into a toaster as Chewbacca. This does not happen overnight. This is a problem. And then, of course, the skin, it looks nice right now, but there's about like 10 prescriptions in here. There are pills that I don't know what is in them, but I use them every day. There's ointment, there's washes. It's insane. I spend thousands of dollars a year on skincare, okay? So it's expensive to look like this. So thank God my dad stepped in and gave me the middle name of Susan. Because you can deal with Susan when you have all these problems, but Schetzel's a step too far. Thank you guys.